activism. So IMS team, if some of the members can go to schedule meetings with vice chancellors and tell them that, hey, this is not the right approach, worshipping politicians, corrupt politicians.
But we're not in that number right now. We need to have those numbers. And it only comes when everybody brings in a couple of more people in the same meeting, in the same cluster, and makes them understand what the vision is. And it becomes a political movement. That's how simple it is. I'm telling you, I know a number. I know statistics. I know the law of induction. It's just basic. Okay? I know that number. As soon as I see that number on the IMS app, I'm going to start on different kind of module in that machine for the يعلمهم الكتاب.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Sir, I am Maz. I work on research, Allama Iqbal, and many things I have read about you as well. I wanted to ask, there are so much, I'm one of the very extreme few researchers in Pakistan who believe in real research. And there are, all of our academic institutions are suffering from power politics, are suffering from power abuse, bullying. All the vice chancellors, we see they are worshipping money and status in Pakistan. And we also see in mosques on religious identities, there are elements of arrogance and jealousy. The question I want to ask, that all this work is so great, how can we, I recently also had a discussion with Professor Norman Finkelstein, and he talked about how can we transfer into activism, and you just mentioned about this, into activism. So IMS team, if some of the members can go to schedule meetings with vice chancellors and tell them that, hey, this is not the right approach, worshipping politicians, corrupt politicians, and all our universities are going through this process of, academic identity we are losing, this religious identity we are losing, this moral identity we are losing, this in our academic institutions. So IMS team members can, schedule this in universities, also in mosques. You can schedule these things to, ask them questions that why is this happening and how to change these things. Because all this information is available on social media, we can transfer it into activism and popular movements. Thank you, sir. How can we transfer it?
It's not the route I prefer, but yeah, that's correct. Whatever you said is correct. Not the route I would want IMS to take with these VCs, and these are business institutes. They call it a business institute, whatever university you're talking about right now, other than the government-owned universities. So whatever government university we can actually help IMS members to hold debates and call up, real movements. It's going to happen from the campuses. And unless we activate the campuses of universities, schools are not going to follow. And this is probably the most, it's the most probable venue for activism. You're young, you're studying, you're under the influence of real books and real people are there. It's not on social media. People are there, so it can easily be done. They're already making clusters. They just make clusters for other reasons, but you can see on campuses, you can see real clusters, but they just don't come around Islam or the Quran or single purpose. They're always scattered around, fragmented into different things, mostly political. But some PTI people are going to do that. Some Jamiat people are going to. You can see it so many times. The whole country was run because of the campuses for the last 70 years. They just had to dismantle it in the times of Musharraf. Before that, university campuses were calling the shots on what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Now they don't. So IMS can take over and fill that void and make people understand. But we're not in that number right now. We need to have those numbers. And it only comes when everybody brings in a couple of more people in the same meeting, in the same cluster, and makes them understand what the vision is. And it becomes a political movement. That's how simple it is. I'm telling you, I know a number. I know statistics. I know the law of induction. It's just basic. Okay? I know that number. As soon as I see that number on the IMS app, I'm going to start on different kind of module in that machine for the يعلمهم الكتاب. Right now, I don't even have, half of that number. right now. And I don't even know what that number is going to translate into when the app is going to be launched and people are going to latch onto that app. That's when the real number is going to come in, and that's when we're going to run real programs there, right? And it's been a year and maybe more that I've been waiting for that app. And finally, I get to hear that this app is under the testing phase now. I still can't give you a timeline on this. That's the kind of problem I'm facing right now. So as soon as that app comes in, we are going to have some clarity on when is the next step of yu'allimuhum al-kitab. Right now, yatlu alayhim ayat. Produce as many researchers as we can on these sort of things, on this category. And kids should be talking about the, these structures in the Quran. That kind of knowledge set should be propagated every single, nook and cranny. That's what you say in England, right? So people would naturally come into believing us, whatever we're saying, understanding us. Yeah, unless you're talking about the Quran, you're talking about the space, and talking about the sign of the universe, you're not that attractive, I'm telling you. People are naturally going to be attracted to our kids when they're going to be running mathematics and physics inside IMS and explaining to them. Research papers are going to be flying through. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, and some of the IMS members, obviously a few, they already are in the research for mathematics. I'm going to share with you some books of people in Multan who've actually given me, their paperwork and their articles, and they've been published, and they've been accredited, and they're mathematics professors now, and some students. So, I mean, this is going to happen. But who's going to read the paper for mathematics in IMS? Nobody. You know what? No one knows how to read papers of mathematics. So we need to train people into that. That's how IMS is going to, that's how any change is done. But I'm not just talking about mathematics. All of this is going to go in parallel. So you need the mass, but mass only follows the elite. You need to create the elite, the intellectual elite, right? For that, the Quran actually, serves the central purpose. I hope everybody is clear.